All right, we've got some Michigan Wolverines football news to talk about. Obviously, the defending national champion Michigan Wolverines. We are legally obligated to say that as until they are no longer champions. Of course, spring ball has started. Michigan putting the pads on, starting to see what the next generation of Wolverines are going to look like with new head man Sharon Moore leading the charge. We've already got great news on that front in spring ball about a young guy stepping up. Let's get into the article, then we'll talk about it more on the other side. This is according to the Michigan Insider. Spring practices are underway in Ann Arbor, and through two practices, the Wolverines' star lane defense has stood out to head coach Sharon Moore. There's a couple guys, Moore said, to start on defense. The two guys I called out yesterday, DJ Waller, who played a little bit last year, he's been awesome. He's been super impressive, super long, super athletic. He's going to be a phenomenal player. All right, this is obviously a great sign because Michigan and defense and frankly on offense too, a lot of guys moving on to the National Football League. They're going to need guys to step up. So a great sign that Waller is ready to be one of those guys. Miles, I'm curious what your thoughts are on this. But first, Michigan fans in the comment section below, look, regular season, it's getting closer and closer. You can almost taste it at this point. Outside of the rivalry game against Ohio State, what's the one matchup you're looking forward to in the upcoming 2024 season more than any other? Again, Ohio State game, throw that out the door. That's obvious. Give outside of that the one matchup you're looking forward to in the comment section below. But Miles, give me your thoughts on this move and maybe what DJ Waller and just Moore's comments and everything about Michigan going forward.
Yeah, Nick, I think Waller is going to be a critical piece of this Michigan defense next year. And that is one thing Michigan has been known for: great defenses, sending numerous players to the NFL draft. And I think Waller could potentially be one of those high level guys in the next couple of years. As a freshman last year, he came in, he was kind of like the number 4 corner on the depth chart. He had 123 snaps as a backup. He did a lot of really good things, and I think he just is that prototypical corner. He has great size. He's 6'3", 6'4", depending where you're looking. I think he's really underrated in his quickness. He's got a lot of good speed. He's very physical, but there's a couple of key things that happened last year that really make me think this guy is set to break out, and that is this is a guy who 5 times last season, Nick, he was named Michigan's Defensive Freshman of the Week. I think he is a guy they see a ton of sparks in last season. I think as a freshman he came in, maybe he's trying to get his feet underneath him, learn the game, learn the speed, get everything up to snuff. I think this is the year he breaks out, but we saw last week 5 defensive freshmen of the week. That's no coincidence. This is a guy at 5 different times last year was a bright spot on defense, and I think he's primed to potentially be a super dominant corner for the Wolverines for the next few years. I think this is going to be a great player to watch, and I'm excited to see if he continues a good performance through spring ball.
I think he's going to have to. He's one of these players that not just through spring, but through fall is going to have a huge impact on this Michigan defense. Because frankly, if you look at Michigan's 2024 schedule, like I kind of alluded to in the opening, there's a lot of massive matchups against a lot of potential high flying offenses. You go down the list, right? They have Texas week 2. They have USC week 4. They have Washington 2 weeks later. They have Oregon towards the end of the season. And of course, they go to Ohio State to wrap it all up. And then whatever happens, of course, in the championship game in the college football playoff after that, right? They're going to play a lot of high flying offenses. They're going to need elite cornerback play. And I think we're looking at a guy here in Waller that's going to need to step in and be that elite corner. So it's very promising he's off to a good start, right? I'm always concerned. I'm always looking for these top contending teams when they have positions of interest, not weakness, but things they're going to have to work on if you don't hear much about it, right? If a position group really stinks in spring ball, coaches just don't talk about it, right? They're not going to come out and say, yeah, our running back room's garbage, right? Our 5 guys stink, right? Our offensive line is the worst, right? They're never going to say that. They're just not going to talk about it. They're going to sit there and say, yeah, our receivers are good. Quarterback's good. They just won't mention the running back room if that's their area of weakness. I'm excited to see that Moore's coming out and saying, yeah, Waller's doing great. We really like what we're seeing. He's taken those strides. That means he's doing it. He's building off of this success, even though he was not a starter and not a heavy contributor last season. I love a guy, by the way, who takes a freshman season, who didn't play as much as he hoped, right? Everyone hopes to play all the time, and immediately translates that into success early in spring ball. That's a guy who dedicated himself in the offseason because between the end of the season, winning national title to spring ball, it's not like they're sitting around resting, right? Those are 5 a.m. winter workouts. Those are all this crazy environment. You're still going through class. You're still going through all those activities. This is a guy here in Waller who used that time to improve himself and get better, to take advantage of this opportunity. And he's off to a great start doing it. This is an outstanding sign for the Michigan defense as we get ready for the 2024 campaign.
Yeah, Nick. And I think Waller, like you said, he's a great player. He's going to break out. I think he's going to be phenomenal for this team. But I think there's a little bit extra motivation for Waller as well. You want him to be good. I think he wants to come in, though. A guy out of the state of Ohio comes to Michigan. He wasn't even offered by Ohio State. That might give him that little extra fuel, to come in and be a dominant player, really take it to the Buckeyes as well. Something small, but on the other side of that, I think coming out of high school, this is a guy who's very versatile as well. He played both offensive and defense. He was a great receiver. So I think the speed's there. I think the skills are there. And like we said, this is a guy that has to come in and have a big season, but I think all signs are showing that he's ready and he has made the leap to do that as well.